I'm not a fan of meal prep, but I'm absolutely a fan of food prep. So this is everything I prepped to make my life a little more nutritious. I started off with my nut and seed granola and didn't follow the recipe exactly and threw in some dried cherries, cocoa nibs, and chocolate chips. Then got started on crock-pot beef shoulder roast with whey, oregano, smoked paprika, salt, and red onion. Then started on some bone broth with regenerative local chicken bones and my freezer rag of collected bones. Added in those onion peels and apple cider vinegar to help extract collagen. Then used up some gross bananas and didn't measure anything and made some banana bread that I wish I measured because it used yogurt and sourdough discard and turned out great. Then roasted 2 whole chicken and ghee, salt, olive oil, and Italian seasonings. Then I always prep some roasted squash, so I did 2 acorn squash roasted in olive oil and salt. Then I was feeling sort of Mediterranean vibes for the week, so I prepped hummus. I made a half-gallon batch of homemade yogurt and used one of those whole roasted chickens to make a pot of lemony chicken noodle soup, sort of a avgalamano, and used more whey and some of the bone broth that I had already been making that day. And as always, I made some pickled things for the week, so this week I made more pickled cucumbers, and I've been loving pickled red onions, so I made some of those. Then made the date bark bites, which, wow, this was the star of the show for sure. It was dates, melted date chocolate, and put all of that into a baking dish, smushed it, topped it with almond and pistachio butter, then the melted chocolate and flaky salt, and froze it all. Celia shredded the chicken for the chicken lemon soup, and then I added that in for her and tempered the egg for the soup, picked some parsley from the garden and added that in, and just shredded the beef that had been cooking all day and loaded that into some glass containers, cut up the bark and put it in a container as well, which, let's be honest, it was eaten very quickly. Strained and stored the bone broth, and that was it. Soup, broth, bread, roast chicken, crock pot beef, acorn squash, red onions, pickles, granolas, hummus, and date bars. See you next week.